By 1992, the RPG genre had pretty much hit its stride in Japan. The Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest games reached a mass audience that loved the fantasy-oriented atmosphere, dramatic stories, and strategic combat both series offered. This dynamic caused a small developer called Asmik to try their own hand at the genre in 1992, when the Super Famicom was exactly 2 years old. Teaming up with publisher Enix, they created Paladins Quest, which aspired to be bold and do many things differently to set it apart from other RPGs. In Japan, it was known as Lennis, Kodai Kikai no Kyoku, or Memories of an Ancient Machine. The game's story centers upon Chesney, a 13-year-old boy studying at the magic school on the planet of Lennis. One day, his buddies persuade him to climb the nearby tower on the eastern edge of campus. With a friend named Duke, he eventually reaches the top, where he places his hand into an odd, hand-shaped device. This unfortunate decision activates an ancient machine called Dahlgren that unleashes a wave of destruction. When he wakes up, Chesney realizes the magic school was completely destroyed in the process, and soon learns that he's the only one that can put a stop to the ancient machine he empowered unknowingly. I have to say that when I first played through this, I immediately thought of how thematically similar this was to Secret of Mana's intro. What with the whole innocent dare causing the release of a sealed evil upon the world bit. Throughout nearly the entire game, you control Chesney and Midia, an aspiring female spiritualist. In addition to these two, many other characters join your party, and you can even hire special mercenary characters in pubs throughout the world. There's over 12 characters in all, but you are limited to having 4 characters in your party at one time, and you can only equip the 2 main characters with items found throughout the game. The first thing, and I mean the absolute first thing you'll notice when playing this game, is that the developers were going for a completely different aesthetic. The colors are bright and cartoony, and really stick out if you compare them to the darker or more serious RPGs from this time. Also, the buildings look like, well, something from a carnival or an alien universe of some kind. It's so incredibly different from anything else on the SNES that it almost appears as if this title was on another system or something. In one word, it's just weird, but I do find the people that really like Paladins Quest, and there are some that do, always point to this facet to justify their opinion. Combat is the part of the game that will probably be most familiar to fans. It's a turn-based affair with a first-person view like many other games, but the interface is, bulky and awkward. I really don't like how the menu text obscures everything behind it, and I think the game could have really benefited by limiting the menu to a certain portion of the screen rather than using the entirety of it. Each round, your characters can choose to attack an enemy, cast a spell, use an item, defend, or run. Probably the most unusual aspect of Paladins Quest is that spells, rather than consuming magic like most RPGs, actually expend hit points instead. This means that healing can only be accomplished through items, which does annoy me a bit. Spells also increase in power the more they're used though, so at least the system was innovative to a certain degree. The spell effects are definitely a little corny, and not well animated at all. Just take a look at this fire spell. It's pretty rough even for this time. I would never claim that spell effects are ever the most important aspect of any game like this, but it does show a lack of attention. As a game typical of its era, there are a lot of random encounters, and some of the dungeons are pretty long and grueling. The odd structures in the game also make it difficult to determine where you're supposed to go at times. Like the Breath of Fire games, this one also suffers from having to use so many abbreviated names for weapons, spells, and armor because of character limitations. It's totally frustrating. North American gamers may be surprised to find out that Paladins Quest has a sequel, Lennis 2 Fuin no Shito, or The Apostles of the Seals. That game has a similar visual and thematic style, but is much better tuned, has a far superior battle interface, and much better graphics. It came out in the summer of 1996 in Japan, long after the prime of the SNES. There is a translation patch available for it, and if you like Paladins Quest, I think you're guaranteed to like that one even better. Overall, I just can't recommend Paladins Quest in the same way I would recommend many other RPGs from the period. It's filled with quirks, oddities, and irritations that will turn some players away, even those that are retro RPG fans. The music and story are the title's saving graces, but the individual characters aren't that lovable, and its odd visual style and combat menu interface will turn other fans off. And, as far as I can tell, the game, despite its title, has nothing to do with Paladins at all, and Chesney and Midia certainly aren't. As to how the name was decided upon, I have no clue, but it may just have been some kind of marketing tactic. Notwithstanding some of its issues, Paladin's Quest still has some appeal to RPG fanatics that never got a chance to try it. If you still want to give it a go, keep this one in a lower tier of your RPGs to play. If you like this review and remember Paladin's Quest, leave a comment below about the most memorable aspect of the game to you. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell below to be alerted upon the addition of new ones. Also, please join my Discord community linked in the description, and consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member exclusives, such as advanced videos and complete video transcripts.